Hey everybody, it's me, Crazyfrankie, and I welcome you to part two of this two-part videos of the AFC and NFC division winners and playoff picks. Part two is the NFC. So in my last video, of course, we got into the AFC, and hopefully you stuck around and to see what picks I made for the AFC. Now we're going to talk about the NFC. Now, the NFC is going to be pretty interesting this year. Obviously, the defending NFC champion, the 49ers, are still kind of the favorites to win the conference again. But who knows if the 49ers can get back to the NFC championship, because I feel there's going to be a lot of competition in this conference. Anyways, let's talk about the NFC divisions first. Let's begin with the NFC East. This is kind of a no-brainer. The Philadelphia Eagles are really the class of the NFC East here, given the fact that they took Barkley away from the Giants and now he's on the Eagles. And given Jalen Hurts' health, he should be back to form going into the start of the season. And to me, the Eagles are clearly the class of the NFC unto themselves. The Cowboys are a mess. I don't really know what's going on. I mean, I don't know what Jerry Jones is doing, why he's waiting so long to re-sign players. He got Lamb signed, but I don't know about Dak Prescott. I think there's no question this might be Dak Prescott's last year as the quarterback for the Cowboys, because obviously his contract is up already. And you got to wonder if this Cowboy team can shake off that disastrous playoff game against the Packers, where the Packers basically whooped them. I don't know what we're going to get out of the Cowboys here. But in all honesty, they still have a decent team. And there's no question they're still going to be in the hunt for a playoff spot. But other than that, the Eagles are pretty much my pick to win this division. The Giants are a mess. Washington, we don't know. They're still in the rebuilding mode. I don't expect them to do much this season. But let's just see what happens with Washington. So really, it's kind of a easy pick in the NFC East. The Eagles are basically the more better team in this division. But the Cowboys will be up there to at least probably more likely fighting for a playoff berth. Now let's go over to the NFC North. Finally, after so many years of the Packers owning this division, that was the time when Aaron Rodgers was still there. We had a new division winner last year, and it was the Lions. It was a great story last year. And basically, MCDC, Dan Campbell, and I mean, a lot of people really got after him in the went after him during the NFC Championship in terms of his decision-making and all that. But people, MCDC, as I call him, or everybody else, but Dan Campbell, this guy has got a lot of heart, and he's a great coach. He helped get back Jared Goff his form. He's beloved there in Detroit, and they are a force to be reckoned with in the NFC conference. They're definitely one of the heavy favorites to possibly win the NFC conference itself. But there's no question they're going to have a lot of competition this year with the Packers, because the Packers were unexpected. Jordan Love got them into the postseason. They lost the 49ers in the divisional round. They will definitely be right at it fighting for that NFC North division again. But I feel, and also don't forget Caleb Williams, and let's see what he does with the Bears. Hopefully maybe get that team started. They could be a surprise, but I don't know what we're going to get with the Bears. And the Vikings, obviously they also have some quarterback issues as well. But to me, I still like the Lions in the NFC North. They revamped their defense in the draft, and that definitely was needed for this team, given the fact that even though their defense was decent last year. But I felt that if they could have added some more key pieces to their defense, they could have got over they could have gotten past they probably could have got past the 49ers and gone to the Super Bowl. But I feel that what the Lions did drafting defense was a smart move, because the Packers are going to be right at it. And not only that, Johnson, their offensive coordinator, is staying with the Lions at least for one more year. That definitely will help Jared Goff in the offense in this division. I like the Lions in this division, but the Packers will definitely give them a fight for who wins this division, and it wouldn't surprise me if and I pretty much can say the Packers will probably be a playoff team for a sure thing. But it's really going to be a two-team race in the NFC North, but I'm picking the Lions. I think they'll edge out the Packers to win the division. Not only that, they're also going to be fighting for that number one seed as well. So Lions to win the NFC North again. NFC South. This division here, I don't know what we're going to get in this division. The Buccaneers were a surprise last season, winning the division. Baker Mayfield helped get that Buccaneers team into the playoffs, gotten them as far as the divisional round, but they lost to the Lions in that game. They're definitely going to be right at it in this division, but the Atlanta Falcons, getting Kirk Cousins and getting some other players also in the offseason, I don't know. I think Atlanta might make some noise in this division. I kind of like what the Falcons had done here. But it's really tough to say what will be of the Falcons, because can Kirk Cousins really lead this team in that offense? Their defense has gotten a little bit better, but obviously it's going to point to their offense here, because they really struggled a lot last season. They had quarterback problems, and obviously with Kirk Cousins, he should help get the Atlanta Falcons into at least some contention. He's coming off a major injury he had when he was still with the Vikings last season. But to me, I think it's going to be virtually going to come down to the last week of the regular season between them and the Bucs. I expect the Buccaneers to be in contention as well for the division, but I'm actually going to pick the Falcons. I think the Falcons will edge out the Bucs. They'll definitely edge them out to win the NFC South. I really don't know what we're going to see with the Saints, let alone the Panthers are a huge mess. I'm not even going to get into that. Don't expect much from the Saints or the Panthers this season. I just think it's a two-team race between the Falcons and the Bucs. I actually like the Falcons to win this division this year, but it'll definitely be like a 9-8 record or something like that. I think it'll be a virtual tie for both the Falcons and the Bucs in that division, with the Falcons, I think, winning the tiebreaker. So in the NFC South, I'm going to pick the Atlanta Falcons in this division. And now going over to the NFC West. The 49ers have won the division now the last 2 seasons. And obviously, there's still a lot of picks for a lot of pundits. There's still the pick for the NFC conference itself. But to me, I think it'll be much harder for them to win this division this year. I know a lot of you are going to say, well, why do you say that if they look more complete? The Rams were a huge surprise last year. I expected the Rams to pretty much be in third place, let alone a blast in the division. And they were a surprise team at 10-7 and got into the postseason. Stafford he wasn't exactly 100%, but he basically played through injury and got the Rams into the postseason. And to surprise Nuka, they're surprisingly tight. Their rookie wide tight end was one of the candidates for Rookie of the Year. Really helped out a lot last year, given that Cooper Kupp had injuries all last season. And I think, to me, the Rams will definitely be there in contention. It's going to be tough to say if the 49ers will just cakewalk the rest of the way in the NFC West. I don't think so. I think the Rams will give them problems this year. But in all honesty, the 49ers are still the class in that division. And personally, I think this is going to be the 49ers' last possible chance at a Super Bowl run, because they got a lot of contracts to deal with in the offseason after this season. And I think, to me, it's going to be really, really tough for them to see who they're going to keep and whether Brock Purdy will get a huge contract. But I just think the 49ers are the better team in this division, but definitely the Rams will be there in contention. They will definitely be there. I can see them being a contender for the division, but the 49ers, I think, will edge them out to win the NFC West. And now one of my 3 NFC teams that I think will make the playoffs. Woo. This is much tougher than the AFC, because the NFC is starting to really rise up on some good teams this year. But here are my picks to who I think is going to be in the postseason. It's going to be the Cowboys. Yes, I said the Cowboys. They'll find a way to get in. No question, the Packers will definitely be in. And I'm actually going to pick the Rams. I think the Rams will edge out the Bucs to get that last playoff spot again. I think this might be the Rams also. They're also on the verge of possibly being one of their last few years with Stafford nearing the end of his career and the Rams being any sort of playoff contender. I think, to me, the Cowboys, the Packers, and the Rams I think will edge out the Bucs to be in the postseason. Those are my 3 playoff teams. I feel they're going to get in. All right, everybody. Those are my picks, my division picks in the NFC, as well as the 3 wildcard teams. And that takes care of that. And I will see you guys for my 4 key game picks for week number 1 in my next video, which I'm going to work on that, try to get it up there before the start of the opening night game on Thursday. So stay tuned for that, everybody, and I'll talk to you guys later when I make my picks for week number 1. Take care.